Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about updating an existing cake. For example, what if the price were to change on this? Maybe it's going on sale or something and I want to change the price. I can click the edit button. Watch the save button when I click the edit button. I click edit and the save becomes enabled. Basically, I know that should probably be the case with the cancel button too, but I just didn't do it. But you start out with the save and cancel buttons disabled and then only enable them when the user is in edit mode, meaning they're updating an existing cake like we're doing in this video, or adding a brand new cake like we'll do in a later video. And then once the save is complete, then you can disable these two buttons again until next time. So anyway, we're going to edit an existing cake, and let's look at the code behind the scenes here. There's not really much in the edit button. It's really just enabling the save and cancel buttons. The save button is where all of the important stuff takes place, all of the important code. And before we look at the code, the save button has double duty in this program. Not only is it saving changes to when the user is updating an existing record, but also if the user is adding a new record, then they're going to hit the save. So the save has to differentiate between what kind of operation is going on here. Is it an update or is it an add new? And from there it can act accordingly. So let's first double click the edit button. Again, not a lot going on here. We're just enabling any button like the save and the cancel button, just making sure those are available to the user once he or she is in edit mode. And then the save button, it all goes down in the save, okay? So when you hit the edit button, the user is basically free to just type in the text boxes, the new values, whatever that may be, the cake ID and so on. No, not the cake ID, that's off limits to the user. I mean the cake name or the price, whatever, the process time. And then when the user clicks save, that's when we actually commit those changes to the database. And so here, let me go to the very top. Just remind you that we have our data row view object that we talked about in previous videos. We're calling it current cake, and that he really has a handle on the current cake that we're looking at in the data set. Okay. And then I added a Boolean type called adding new, which by default will be set to false. And it's going to stay false in this video because we're not adding a new record. But this keeps track of whether or not we're adding a new record or updating an existing, because like I said, the save button has double duty, so we have to differentiate between operations in the save. So here I am in the save, and we're saying if we're adding new, and this one's empty because we're not going there yet. That'll be in maybe the next video. But in the else clause, this is where we handle the update. Okay, so we must, if we're not adding new, then we must be updating a current record, or an existing record. And so basically here, we're just kind of cycling through those text boxes, our bound controls. That's where the user is going to type the new updated information. So we're putting that data into the data row view object, or the current row. Okay, so these become the new values for the current cake. Okay, and then we're home free. All right, that's all you have to do in the else clause, because this code out here is shared between the adding new record operation as well as the update existing operation. So the code is the same for both of those. So that's why this is not inside of the if-else. But basically, okay, we're home free. We're going to get out of edit mode. Use the binding source to end edit method to get out of edit mode. And then you call upon the table adapters update method to synchronize the existing data set with the actual database behind the scenes, just passing it a copy of the data set, okay, which has those changes in it because of those 3 lines of code that we did up there. So, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Really, those 2 lines are going to commit those changes to the database, and basically then we just have to disable the save and cancel buttons. So we can run it and test it. Okay, so this one, for example, I'm going to edit this, and let's say it's going on sale for $45. I'm going to hit the save button. And then maybe also I will You know what? Okay, yeah. Well, I'll also edit this one. Okay, this is Black Forest with strawberries. Okay, and then we'll hit save. All right, let's check out the database and see what we have. And notice I'm in the debug folder. That's where the working database resides. You should hopefully have those changes. So, okay, there they are. The red velvet is $45 as expected, and then the Black Forest with strawberries. So it looks like it's working. So in the next video, we'll go ahead and do the ad.